3 movies coming up. The first challenge was to watch an anime that began airing between 2016 and 2021, for which I picked Tenki no Ko, or Weathering with You in English. This film is yet another addition to Makoto Shinkai's portfolio, of which I think by now I've seen all but one. And just like a couple months earlier when I watched Hoshinokoi, he's yet again making the same film. Essentially, this movie is about a girl with a supernatural ability to control weather, and its overuse coming back to bite the user later on. Girl meets boy, romantic tension, running far away from your hometown. These are all elements that are familiar, and frankly, I'm sort of sick of seeing that. I still have to give the movie props though for probably the most gorgeous background art I've seen in anime, period. Some very solid long animation cuts as well, sprinkled in thanks to the movie budget probably. And they got Radwimps to do the soundtrack again, which I'm kind of neutral about. All in all, the word I would describe this movie with is mid. The second challenge was to watch an anime that has a higher score than a listed adaptation, for which I picked Kimi to Nami ni Noretara, or Ride Your Wave in English. This film is a new one from none other than Masaaki Yuasa, who has, in my opinion, had a weirdly mixed directorial career. This is about a surfer girl who moves back to her old hometown for uni and discovers all about it with Mr. Firefighter. Through all kinds of twists and turns, the movie then explores personal loss while retaining a sort of rom-com attitude. I think the way to portray coping as a sort of concept was interesting indeed, but the actual execution of said concept just felt overly goofy, very convenient, and unnatural. I mean, I'm not necessarily seeking realism either, but come on now. The inclusion of certain supernatural elements, even if partly imagined, is very much like Masaaki Yuasa, but he did it so much better in Nightly Short Walk On Girl. Fantastic movie, by the way, you should watch that instead. In conclusion, a bit of a messy film that definitely does have some interesting ideas that just aren't executed all that well. The third challenge was to watch an anime tagged with some specific tags on the screen right now, for which I picked Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Solid State Society. This film is a sequel to the Standalone Complex TV series that I'm personally a very big fan of. The film doesn't continue with the same activities, but shows a future in which Major is no longer working for the Section 9. Essentially, an epidemic of high-ranking officials committing suicide is being investigated and is soon found out to be the work of someone called the Puppeteer. Investigations lead to multiple red herrings, but also uncover a much darker, covered-up secret plan happening on the down low. That's all I'll say without spoiling anything. I think the villain is very interesting, but maybe not on the level of the TV show, though also that's quite a high bar. Much of the pondering and ultimate conclusions are sort of left untouched, which does leave room for the viewer to form their own theories. One element of which I'd like to point out right now, a lot of attention was put on security cameras watching everyone, which I'd like to believe was the work of someone other than the villain or the government, but yeah, I don't have much else to say. All in all, pretty cool follow-up movie to an amazing series. That's all for this time. See y'all in the next one.